All right, Steve's Giant Pumpkins at Homestead, June 17th. I'm going to run through this really quick because I got lots of work to do. Need to take advantage of this. Not a cloud in the sky. Haven't seen that in a week. All right, so I'm standing down at the lower end of the patch. You can see I got a sea of green. Man, I've been wanting to get in here and till this for weeks, but every single time that I have a few hours available that I can walk behind the tiller, this happens. So I resorted to pulling all this out by hand, and I've been trying to focus in the plant areas and working out from the plants where the plants are headed to grow. Man, this plant right here, I've had to unroll this thing twice a day. I just got home from work. I haven't got it the first time today, but it needs it again. Sorry about that, plant. I'll do it properly here in a few minutes. Let's just go ahead and start right here. So the 2501 Bernstrom. Guys, I got some things going my way finally. This plant's really showing me that it wants to live. It wants to be in the patch. You remember a couple weeks ago, we broke the main vine on it. This is secondary that I've turned into a main, and it's got some tertiaries coming off of it. Going to start filling in this area. I actually went with the secondary back from where I had to cut the main vine because it was a much stronger vine, and it's really proven to be. I'm a little bit behind on vine burying. You can get some holes cut in here and start getting buried in there. I did pollinate a fruit on it right in there yesterday. Not planning on keeping that. I need some more plant, I feel like, but I'm going to watch it, see what happens. Might end up in a situation like I did last year where I had early pollination and I planned on doing one afterwards, which I did, but then when it came down to it, I went with the older DAP to grow out. Still need some more planted here, so it is working on filling in. I haven't gone full exodus on tertiaries on this because I do have some spots I need to fill. There's 2 vines back here where secondaries did not come off of it. I'm going to fill some tertiaries in back there. And there's a few gaps in here between vines here. Got a big gap between that vine and that vine. I've got one tertiary pegged. You can almost see it right there at the top of that leaf. I'm going to roll it right inside of there. So I have been terminating some tertiaries, but I'm not going full excess on it because this plant needs some more plant in the ground. Main vine's gone. New main is the secondary, so that's what that is. I got my shade cloth up, and the reason I put the shade cloth up is because the weatherman talked like we went 3.7 inches of rain in just a couple of days. We didn't even get a half inch. A couple of bad storms did come through here, but I covered up all the plants with the shade cloth because I didn't want that rain to beat them down, break leaves, and damage vines and stuff like that. It's going to stay because we're looking at a week in the 90s starting Friday, so they do need some protection from that. I still got my wind fence up around these 2 plants, the perimeter wind fence in the plant zone anyway. My entire patch is protected with this wind fence. I was getting some damage on them, so I put this wind fence closer around these plants here. I want to get that off so I can get in there and start cleaning things up, make it real nice and neat. But the weatherman's calling for some potentially damaging winds late tomorrow night and Thursday, so it's going to stay up a few more days at least, and probably move on from it by the weekend. Alright, still working on weeding around Godzilla. I got the other side pretty well cleaned out yesterday. I'm going to focus on this today. I did pollinate yesterday. A nice pretty 5-lober is right down in there. I'm planning on growing it out. It's sitting at about 15 to 16 feet right now with the good amount of secondaries behind it. Once I get all these weeds out, it'll look like a really pretty plant. And again, behind on digging holes and burying vine, but I was kind of watching this fruit to see what was going to happen. I do have a fruit on the end also. I'm going to pollinate that, and you know, in the 15 to 20 day range. We'll just have to pick one. All right, we're up here on the upper end now at the 2144 rotoball, and a little bit of weeds here, but not near what I got to deal with down there. I worked over in there yesterday, getting some of the leaves out of the other side. I'm getting those vines buried in over on the other side. I got right at 16 feet of plant right now. Female on the end that is going to get pollinated. She'll be ready within about a week. Man, this plant's really surprising me. It was just doing absolutely nothing. And then I put the 1844.5 Caspers in here, and I was just going to see which one got to the middle first was going to be the keeper. And as soon as I put this plant in the ground, the 2144 rotoball said, "Oh, heck no, you're not getting rid of me." And it just took off like a rocket. And it's growing so fast that I can't hardly keep up with it. So, yeah, really happy about that right now. I look forward to getting this fruit pollinated. I'm going to continue to hang on to this Casper's plant. I do want some male flowers off of that. I'm kind of wanting to put it into this for the pretty orange. Put this nice heavy fruit into that pretty orange. And I don't have a pollination plan for either of those down there. My original plan was to do both of those to each other, but when that female was ready to go, the only plant that had male flowers was this one right here. I only have one male flower on the 2501. I used it to sell its fruit that I'm not even planning on keeping. Yeah, I mentioned, I don't remember what this was. It was 23% heavy or so, I think. And that'll, you know, I know the chart's changed, and I don't care about that. I only care about what it weighs on the scale. I want to break Virginia records. I want to put on a GPC jacket, and percent heavy ain't going to do that. The only thing that's going to do that is the number that the scale says. So I don't care about the new chart. I don't care about any of that. I'm going to put this pretty orange 1844 Caspers into this and see what we get. Alright, and on the back side of that, this side's got a lot more weed pressure. It's starting to look like down there. I'm also working on it, mainly around these plants. All what's going on down here, I've decided to move on from the 2404 Dawn Baron plant. It's still there. I may use some male flowers off of it, maybe. Only reason I really wanted to grow that, but I mean, come on, it's June 17th, and this is where we're at on that plant right now. So it's still in the ground. I've given this space over to some field pumpkins, and I need to get it cleaned up. I understand that. I am working on that. It's hard to do in the downpours every single day. This is a 160 Alts, AILTS. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. Joe Alts, I believe that is. That's a 65.7, 65.9 Bergeron. That's also 65 point whatever Bergeron. Another 160 Joe Alts, and that is the 235 Razzo. So they're going to get all this space here and maybe break some field pumpkin records. The Edwards family down Tazewell set the mark in Virginia at 100.5 last year, so that's where we got to get. I have some friends that have some decent field pumpkins already on the vine. I don't do mine quite as early as they do, so this is where we're at on them right now. This is a lot further than I got last year, so pretty excited about it. Wow. All right, I wanted to do a 10-minute video, quick, get it done, take advantage of the sun, get some work done. Not sure how I'm doing on time. Let's run over to the 150 square foot patch and check that out real quick, and then we'll be done. All right, the 150 square foot circle, 149.47 square feet. So I'm running out of time here. I told you 10 minutes. I'm going to keep it 10 minutes. All right, let me try and get back up here. All right, what you see here is the 2080 Bernstrom. So definitely not the plants I wanted to put in here. I had the 2080 Bernstrom. So I had Wormy and Clark back to back, and Clark was supposed to grow that way. Wormy was supposed to grow this way. They turned out they were both growing this way and kind of got in the way of each other, and Clark did not have nearly as strong as a vine as Wormy did. So I cut Clark out of the patch and went with Wormy. I still have my backup plant back there. That's a 2012.5 Bach. I'm not going to grow it. I'm just kind of hanging on to it for flowers right now. So you got some of these secondaries coming in back here. I'm planning on wrapping around this way and They are just about in the way of this plant. So I almost cut this out 2 days ago, but I left it, and it is going to come out of the patch. I'm going with Wormy, the 2080 Charlie Bernstein. Long way to go here. I'm behind where I wanted to be. I need to rethink this patch next year, and when I say rethink that, I mean I'm a believer that this is the way to go on the 150 square foot grow. What I need to do next year is get it inside of some type of grow tent structure with heating cables, and probably relocate it. I'm getting a lot more shade from these trees than I thought I was going to get, and I think that's what kind of hampered this grow for a while. It is taking off like a rocket right now. It's got a fruit on the end that's not even close to where I want it at. I want it over here. I don't know if I'm going to get here. I will probably pollinate that just to get things going, and then fill in everything else and look for a fruit further down the line. Just like the other patch, lots of weeds. I am working on it. You can see here I'm moving boards and hammering away at it little by little. You can't see for the weeds. I'm going to go over there and take care of that. I got a watermelon plant right there, in there somewhere. We'll walk over and take a closer look at it. And then right here, bushel gourd that Paul Jarrett sent me. My bushel gourd didn't germinate. He sent me this in the mail. I put it out here. I decided I was going to move on from watermelons. It was too late in the year. They weren't doing anything. And that one down there doubled in size overnight. So I'm going to continue to monitor, and we'll see what happens. Either the bushel gourd's going to get to fill in all of this, or I'm going to go with 1 or 2 of the watermelons. And a little too early to tell there. Tomatoes. All right, this is the 9.5 Clayton, and just like the 9.5 Clayton at the barn side, I have not gotten a single mega bloom off of it yet. Still watching for that, still keeping an eye on that. Plant's looking healthy, looking good. My marrows are finally starting to grow. This is the 96.5 Williams. I also have the 200 plus UK marrow over there. The 96.5 that I had right here, the downpours broke it off clean at the stump. So it is gone down to 2 marrows. First time grow for these, and they're finally starting to take off. They just kind of been sitting here, and they're finally starting to do their thing. So I need to get in here, clean some weeds. You can see where I've been working from the plants in. So you can kind of see my weed line, and every day I've been getting as much of it as I can. Trying to work over here when it's shady over here, and working in the main patch when it's shady in the main patch. All right, this is my very first ever successful grafted watermelon, and that's kind of why it's still here. I know this thing needs to be way stretched out and maybe even fruited by now, but I'm still hanging on to it for the sole purpose, in fact, that it was my first ever successful successful grafting of watermelon. It's the 222 Ben McMillan grafted to Nick Miscastlin G1 rootstock. So we'll just keep watching it and see what it does. Slide over here and look at this other watermelon. This is also a 222 Ben McMillan. I need to get these weeds out of it and give it some grow room. This is not grafted. It's straight in the ground. And I'm just going to keep an eye on it and see what it does. I think it's almost pulled them out a week ago, but did not. We're just going to continue to monitor things. All right, you bear with me just one more minute. I want to go over here and show you. I put some field pumpkins over here. I already looked at the field pumpkins I put in the main patch. I had some more that I bought from the Ohio Valley Club. I'm looking for those 268 bags genetics. And I've grown over here before. Not giant pumpkins. I've grown regular field pumpkins, butternut squash, spaghetti squash, sorts of stuff like that. I grew giant sunflowers over here one year. This is going to be my first GPC fruit addition over here. And man, I ran out here and did this as fast. I had these plants in the house, and I just couldn't keep sitting on them. They had to go in the ground. So there's a little bit of weed cover in here. I removed a little bit of weed to get these plants in the ground. So there's one there, and one here. Both of these up here are the 140 rows, and this one is a 75 yowie. And kind of what I did was take this fence sections here and divided it up into 3 portions, and they're going to get all of that space. I'll have to come out here and measure it. I don't know how many square feet it is, but I think they're going to get more square feet over here than what I put in the main pumpkin patch. So we'll show you these when they start vining out. These just went in the ground this past Sunday, so they've been in the ground about 3 or 4 days now. I do need to come in here and weed. I've been wanting to till, but again, it's just been too wet. I can't get in there to till, so I'm probably going to have to come in here and hoe some weeds down. All right, that's Steve's Giant Pumpkins for June 17, 2025. Starting to gain some ground. Got a lot of work to do. Long ways to go yet. Still over here by my field pumpkins. You see this tote here. What I did over here last year was build a watering system that's run off of a gasoline pump. I haven't needed to put that up yet because of all the rain, but I will be doing that, and that's will definitely show you that when I get that thing up and running here in a couple of week or so. That's it. Probably a little bit longer video than what I was aiming for. I tried to go through everything really fast. Got a lot of work to do. I didn't want to be out here shooting video, but I'm kind of feeding pigs right now, so took the opportunity while I'm over here feeding pigs to shoot a little bit of video. That's where we're at, and a long ways to go, a lot of work to do. Thanks a lot for watching. Hit that subscribe button and check out how this grow goes the rest of the year, and we'll see you next time.